Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we'll be solving linear equations and inequalities. We'll be looking at 4 examples, plus a bonus question. The first question being -9 plus 2m less than 6m plus 3. Second question is 4/3 times, in parentheses, 2x plus 3 minus 2 equals x. The third question is 6 times, in parentheses, p plus 10 less than or equal to 0. And the fourth question is 2x greater than 6. And then we have a bonus question, which you'll need to use an inequality to solve it. So let's get started with the first question. Okay, so number 1. We have -9 plus 2m less than 6m plus 3. So with this first one, we can, you can add 9 to both sides, or you can subtract 2m to both sides. If you're looking at the right side, you can also subtract 6m from both sides, or subtract 3 from both sides. It really doesn't matter the order, but you just have to pick one. So in this case, I think I'm going to add 9 to both sides. So if we add 9, it cancels out the -9, bring down the 2m. 2m less than 6m. 3 plus 9 is 12. And then, so here we could either subtract 2m or subtract 6m. I think I'm going to subtract 2m. (2m minus 2m is 0. Less than 6m minus 2m is 4m plus 12. Now we'll bring that 12 over to the left side. So to get rid of this 12, you subtract by 12. Now we have -12 less than 4m. And all we have to do now is just divide by 4. And we get -12 divided by 4 less than m, or you could say -3 less than m. This is also the same thing as saying m is greater than -3. So however you want to look at it is correct. Now if we were looking at m greater than -3, if we wanted to plot this on a scale of say this is 0 to and this is 3, and then beyond 3 is positive infinity. And then on this left side, this is -3, and then beyond that is negative infinity. So here we would have that here would have m. An open circle means that it's at -3, but it does not include -3. So m greater than -3 would be from here at -3, but not including -3, all the way to positive infinity. So that would be your answer for number 1. Now we'll do number 2, which was 4/3 times 2x plus 3 minus 2 equals x. So here we'll distribute the 4/3 to both the 2x and the 3. If we do that, we get 8 over 3x plus 12 over 3 minus 2 equal to x. And then if we subtract by 8 over 3x to both sides, we'll get 12 over 3 minus 2 equal to so x minus 8 over 3x. Actually, I'll show you guys. I won't skip steps so I could show you. So minus 8 over 3x minus 8 over 3x. This cancels out, bring this down. 12 over 3 minus 2 equal to, so x minus 8 over 3x is another way to say it is 3 over 3 times x minus 8 over 3 times x. And when you're subtracting fractions, you have to make sure you get the same denominator, and then all you do is subtract the numerators. So if you subtract the numerators, then you get 3 minus 8, which is negative 5 over 3 times x. And here we have 12 over 3 minus 2, which is also 12 over 3 minus, if you multiply 3 to 2, you get 6, and then 6 over 3. So 3 times the 2 gives you 6, and if we say that this is 2 over 1, and then 3 times the 1 will give you 3. So now we can reduce the 12, we can subtract the 12 over 3 minus 6 over 3. That would give you 6 over 3, which is just simply 2, equal to negative 5/3 x. To get the x by itself, we multiply by negative 3 over 5 to both sides. And if we do that, then we get 2 times negative 3, negative 6 over 5. So here we have that x is equal to negative 6 over 5. Again, if we were to look at this as a line graph, we would see, we say this is 0, say this is negative 6 over 5, and say that this is 6 over 5, we would just have a dot, a filled in dot at negative 6 over 5, because that's where x is at, exactly on that value. Okay, so now we move on to number 3, which states 6 times p plus 10 is less than or equal to 0. Here we distribute 6p plus 60 is less than or equal to 0. If we subtract 60 to both sides, we are left with 6p less than or equal to negative 60. And then if we divide by 6 to both sides, we get P is less than or equal to negative 10. So that would be our answer. And then as a line graph, this would be at and including negative 10, so less than or equal to, so the equal to is shaded, and then P being less than would mean that this would go all the way to negative infinity. So now we will do number 4, which is negative 2x greater than 6. I'd encourage you to pause and think about this one. It's a little bit tricky, but let's get to it. So we would divide by negative 2 to both sides. So here would x be greater than or less than? Well, there's a rule that states whenever you're multiplying or dividing by a negative number to both sides, you flip the sign. So the greater than sign now becomes less than negative 3. So x less than negative 3 would be your answer. One way to think about this is, let's just say you have 2 greater than 1, which we all know is true. If you multiply both sides by negative 1, so say you want to multiply both sides by negative 1, then you have negative 2 greater than negative 1. But that's not true. What we know to be true is negative 2 is less than negative 1. So that's why the sign flips. That's why it's important to flip the sign. Okay, so now the bonus question. Which states that Jake plans to board his dog while he is away on vacation. Boarding house A charges $90 plus $5 per day. Boarding house B charges $100 plus $4 per day. For how many days? So how many days must Jake board his dog for A to be less expensive than B? So here's the information that we know is that boarding house A there's an amount for boarding house A to board Jake's dog, and then an amount for boarding house B. And we know that A is $90 plus $5 per day. And for B, we know that it's $100 starting out plus $4 per day. And so what we need to find out is how many days until A is less than B. So the amount at A, building A is less than B. How many days can go by for A to still be less than B, basically. So here I'd encourage you to pause, think about it, try to solve it. Okay, so we need to write an inequality, and the inequality that would be most appropriate would be 90 plus 5 times x, where I'll say as a note x is x is the amount of days that go by. So 90 plus 5x, we need that to be less than 100 plus 4x. So we know that this is A, needs to be less than this is B. Okay? So if we try to solve it now, if we subtract by 4x to both sides, then we would get 90 plus x is less than 100. And then if we subtract by 90 to both sides, we'll get that x is less than 10, which means so Jake must board his dog. Jake must board his dog for 10 days. And that's it. I encourage you, if you learned something, to like and subscribe so that I can keep putting out more videos, and comment if there's anything in particular you'd like me to discuss. Thank you.